In the ruins of art, in the ruins of a shattered age, Godox cries in a captive cage, Radox broken in the metal rain, Badox rises to rule the chain.
Mighty Zoids roaring through the night. Heroic blue guardians ready for the fight. Claws and lasers cutting through the sky. Planet Zoidstar, we ain't saying goodbye. Evil red mutants led by Red Hawk's might. Dark machines and shadows, they bring the blight. Rolling ground and lightning in their wake. No surrenders, cause we make no mistake. Zoids collide in the dead of the night. Metallic roars under bright starlight. Zoidstar still recommends the fight. Blue versus red, who claim the right. Desolate wasteland echoes with our screams. Battle scars and broken dreams. Mechanized beasts tearing through the steel. Every strike's a story, every wound we feel. Onward charging engines of the brave. Blue guardians, we don't fear the grave. Circuit fires burning through the pain. To drive the red back, reclaim our domain. Zoidzilla's roar shakes the core. Red on trembles, won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirit soar. Zoidstar's glory come forth. Upward charging engines of the brave. Blue guardians, we don't fear the grave. Circuit fires burning through the pain. To drive the red back, reclaim our domain. Zoidzilla's roar shakes the core. Red Hawk trembles, won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirits soar. Zoidstar's glory, we've come for. Roaring skies, thunder loud machines. Blue guardians, ready armor gleams. Zoidzilla beast, forged in metal.